Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into Islamabad.
Sounds interesting.
It is, and the source material is a little different.
Oh,
Yeah, it's from a podcast called Speak English Fluently,
okay.
and they teach vocabulary by taking you to different places.
Ah,
Yeah, so it's kind of like you learn some new words and you get
Right.
to explore a city.
I like it already.
Yeah, it's a neat concept.
It is.
So this episode is all about Islamabad, and
Cool.
the podcast host starts by describing it as a
Mmm.
well-organized metropolis.
Metropolis, that's a good one.
Yeah, it means like a big important city.
Right, a major urban center.
Exactly. And what's interesting about Islamabad is that it's a planned city.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they built it from scratch back in the 60s
Wow.
to be the capital of Pakistan.
So everything's like laid out.
Yeah, Y avenues, green spaces.
Right.
They even have different sectors for like government stuff,
Interesting.
residential areas, commercial areas.
It's like Sim City in real life.
Yeah, kind of. And speaking of green spaces,
Yeah.
the podcast host mentions the Margala Hills and these beautiful, serene lakes.
Serene, I love that word.
Me too. It really captures that peaceful vibe, you know?
Absolutely, like a sense of tranquility.
Right, like an escape from the city.
Yeah, and it makes me think about how important nature is.
Mm.
Like in so many cultures, like Japan, they have their peaceful gardens, right?
Yeah.
Or Scandinavia, they have this thing called friluftsliv.
Friluftsliv.
It means like open air living, connecting with nature.
I like that.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, what is it about nature
Mm.
that brings us that sense of peace?
Right. Like, why do we feel so calm when we're surrounded by trees and water?
It's a good question.
Maybe it's like a feeling of being grounded,
Maybe.
like we're connected to something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, that's a nice thought.
And then in the middle of all this natural beauty,
Hmm.
you have the Faisal Mosque.
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures of that.
It's pretty iconic, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, it's huge.
Yeah, and the architecture's so unique.
Those white arches.
Yeah, and that triangular prayer hall.
It's like a modern take on a traditional mosque.
Exactly, blending old and new.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So we've gotten a taste of Islamabad,
We have.
learned some new vocabulary,
Definitely.
and even had a little philosophical moment about nature.
I like where this deep dive has gone.
Me too, and it makes me think that this Speak English Fluently podcast,
Yeah,
they're really onto something.
they are. It's like learning and exploring all rolled into one.
Right. And it makes you think about your own city.
Mm.
Like, what makes it unique?
Yeah.
What's the history, the design, the natural elements?
It's like every city has its own story to tell.
Exactly. And it's up to us to discover those stories.
And maybe learn some new words along the way.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a great deep dive.
It has. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring.
And keep learning.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
See you then. Bye.